Is the FIA sabotaging Max Verstappen? That's the pressing question fans and analysts are grappling with after one of the most debated penalties of the Formula One season. The Qatar Grand Prix, meant to further solidify Verstappen's dominance, instead erupted into controversy when the reigning champion, who had initially secured pole position with a flawless lap, was slapped with a one-place grid drop and a penalty point on his super license. The penalty has reignited debates about whether this is standard rule enforcement or a calculated attempt to rein in Verstappen's success. The incident unfolded during the final moments of qualifying. Verstappen was on a cool-down lap, preparing for a flying lap, when George Russell, driving for Mercedes, rapidly approached near turn 11. Verstappen's slow pace forced Russell to take evasive action, leading Russell to label the move as super dangerous over team radio. The FIA quickly launched an investigation into the incident. Neither Verstappen nor Russell was on a flying lap at the time, a key factor in the stewards' decision. Traditionally, impeding another driver during a push lap would warrant a three-place grid drop. However, the FIA opted for a rare one-place grid drop due to what it deemed mitigating circumstances. This did little to ease Verstappen's frustrations. He lost pole position to Russell and had to start second on the grid. Adding to the blow, the FIA handed Verstappen a penalty point on his super license, increasing his total to 6. While this is far from the 12-point threshold that triggers an automatic one-race ban, Verstappen must tread carefully for the remainder of the season to avoid further penalties. The FIA's decision sparked backlash, with many questioning whether Verstappen was being unfairly targeted. Comparisons quickly emerged with an earlier incident involving his teammate, Sergio Pérez. During sprint qualifying, Pérez was reprimanded for driving slowly on the track but received no grid penalty or penalty points. This discrepancy has fueled speculation that Verstappen, as the face of Red Bull's dominance, is being held to a stricter standard. Fans have begun questioning the FIA's motives. Is this about enforcing the rules or creating drama in a season where championship battles have largely been decided? Verstappen defended his actions, explaining that he was cooling his tires and had already allowed two cars to pass before Russell approached. He insisted he had full visibility of Russell in his mirrors and saw no risk of danger. The stewards, however, were unconvinced. They pointed to Verstappen's slow pace and his position on the racing line as clear violations of the race director's event notes. These notes specifically instructed drivers to avoid impeding or engaging in dangerous behavior. In the eyes of the stewards, Verstappen's actions represented a breach of these guidelines. The penalty has raised critical questions about fairness. Was the punishment proportional to the infraction? Verstappen undeniably violated the rules, but the severity of his penalty, particularly when compared to Pérez's mere reprimand, has led to accusations of inconsistency. If the FIA's priority is safety and compliance, why wasn't Pérez penalized similarly? Furthermore, since Verstappen's actions did not affect Russell's qualifying result, was a grid drop even necessary? This incident has cast a spotlight on the FIA's role in Formula One. Are they impartially enforcing the rules, or are they selectively targeting Verstappen and Red Bull? Some argue that Verstappen's dominance has made him a target, with the FIA using situations like these to level the playing field. Others believe the penalties are a result of stricter rule enforcement across the board. Regardless, the perception of bias could have lasting consequences for the sport. The timing of this controversy is also significant. Verstappen has already clinched the Drivers' Championship, and Red Bull has secured the Constructors' title. With no major battles left, some speculate that the FIA might be looking for ways to keep the season engaging. Whether or not this theory holds water, the penalties have undoubtedly sparked debate and added unexpected drama to the Qatar Grand Prix. For Verstappen, the penalties serve as a reminder that even the most dominant drivers are subject to the steward's scrutiny. His 6 penalty points are now a looming threat, requiring him to proceed with caution. Any additional points could edge him closer to the dreaded 12-point threshold, raising the unthinkable prospect of a race ban. Beyond Verstappen's challenges, this incident highlights the broader influence of the FIA in shaping the sport. Formula One is fundamentally a contest of skill, speed, and strategy, yet moments like these underline the significant role stewards' decisions play in determining outcomes. Verstappen's frustrations were evident throughout the weekend. He openly criticized the penalty, describing it as strange and questioning what he could have done differently. "We were all just driving slowly. I wouldn't know what I could have done differently," Verstappen remarked before his meeting with the stewards. "Otherwise, next time I'll just drive flat out too, and pretend to crash into the other car." His irritation spilled over into the post-qualifying press conference, where he engaged in a heated exchange with Russell. Verstappen argued that he was simply creating a gap, as drivers ahead of him were also doing. He criticized Russell's reaction, suggesting that Russell was overreacting. Russell, on the other hand, stood firm, stating that he was following the Delta time regulation to avoid a penalty himself. "I didn't want to get penalized because we're told to follow the Delta," Russell explained. Verstappen, visibly exasperated, quipped, "Next time just drive straight through." The tension between the two drivers highlights a larger issue. Incidents like these expose the fine line between enforcing the rules and maintaining fairness. Verstappen's situation has raised questions about whether the FIA is using its authority to influence the competitive balance of the sport. Despite securing the championship early, Verstappen's season remains a test of his ability to navigate controversies and adapt to increased scrutiny. The penalties, while frustrating, serve as a reminder of the complex dynamics between drivers, teams, and the governing body in Formula One. The debate over the FIA's actions is unlikely to fade anytime soon. Whether fans see the penalties as justified or as an overreach, the fallout from the Qatar Grand Prix has added another layer of intrigue to the season. For Verstappen, the challenge now lies in avoiding further penalties while continuing to perform at the highest level.